Battle of the Rising Spirits. Before the darkness, before the light, before the beginning of time, before the heavens, before the stars, before the thought of crime, she stood alone, a wanderer adrift, lonely as could be. She stood alone, a wanderer adrift, no one yet could see. Before the warmth, before the cold, before the angel's glory, before the thought, before the reason, before the unfolding story. She didn't know, how could she have known, what would come to be? She didn't know, how could she have known, on that field what she would see? Breath, creation, the light flooded in their eyes, wings rising anew. Breath, creation, how could she see one would despise and bring down the perfect view? Seated at the right, the second highest throne, he wanted all the might, the will to overthrow. Treachery at the beginning of all, polluting eternity. Without his wings the longest fall, the first hostility. The fiery bellows raged on and on, a battle line was drawn. The love in his heart all but gone, fading with the dawn. His armies marched and killed and maimed, roaring at the pearly gates. And the beloved that he enchained were impelled upon the pike of fates. But she loved them all the same, no matter whose side they claimed. With trenches dug forever long, and siege engines towering forward, their hearts long ago corrupt and wrong, a blood-thirsty frenzied horde. All blood flowed freely like a river of sadness toward the ocean of souls, and nothing could contain their madness except an empty skull. Countless perished upon the plain, barred from mortal eyes. Even the generals could feel the pains, hearing the distant cries. A quick break with a collective sigh, everyone turned to her. She didn't look, more must die. Her children are set to murder. But she loved them all the same, no matter whose side they claimed. Tears and sweat and organs spewing in eternity the first age. The mad eyes were only alluding to what would be the next stage. The air was infected with rot, a lifetime amount, while the earth raised and salted the bodies no one could count, a war that never halted. Not so long ago she was alone, floating in her nothingness. How could she have known that peace was an emptiness? War with no outcomes, truce and impossibility. Now there would be two kingdoms, a schism in reality. But she loved them all the same, no matter whose side they claimed. This world is old, yet freshly scarred, freshly charred, freshly discarded. An uneasy truce was made, an old way saved. Mortals in the crossfire, she holds them up. Away from his dyes, his tries, his enterprise. The battle now fought with men who will win in the end. He towers above, shading her loving light, loving might, loving insight. The truce still holding steady, though each side is ready. This world is old. The sun is set, the time is soon, the last and final battle. The armies met, the destruction of the moon, the cosmos sure to rattle. An eternity of strife, a last-ditch hope, a time to rest in peace. An extinction of a life, a calling to elope, a sever of the lease. The sun burst, a magnificent sight, for all that saw the flash. The love, her first, a morning light, for all that came to pass. But she loved them all the same, no matter whose side they claimed. After the light, after the dark, after the end of time, after the stars, after the heavens, after the thought of crime, she stood alone, a wanderer adrift, lonely as could be. She stood alone, a wanderer adrift, she didn't want to see. After the warmth, after the cold, after the angel's glory, after the reason, after the thought, after eternity's story, She didn't know, how could she have known what would come to be? She didn't know, how could she have known what was destiny? Breath, nothingness. All is still, nothing left to say. Breath, nothingness. Not a chill, everything's gone away.